Okay. First, I'd like to introduce our co-chairman, board co-chairman, Dennis Egidi joined up with us today. Okay. And the Hannah is our marketing and the VP of the company. And also myself, I'm the founder of Reborn Coffee to start the new culture of coffee in America. So Hannah will go over the fourth wave, the coffee. You will see why we call fourth wave.
Yeah. So thank you so much for kicking it off, Jay. These you can see kind of like from our presentation, we focus a lot on our brand and who we are. That fourth wave is really, really important in terms of how to distinguish us in a coffee industry that's already like here in New York especially. There's a lot of coffee shops around the corner, but what makes us different, and that is the fourth wave. So the fourth wave really consists of many different elements. Here's just are some of our assets that really demonstrate our brand. The fourth wave, a lot of it is visual. It's how you taste your coffee, and it's the process and how coffee is created. So the fourth wave, just to give context in the coffee industry, you have the first wave, which is like Folgers, instant coffee. You're not really sure where the coffee's coming from. It can be just a mix of the cheapest coffee that they can find to get the coffee flavor. The second wave is somewhere like Starbucks that introduces the coffee culture into the industry. You go into a coffee shop and you can try these different types of coffee, like an Americano or a latte. The third wave is something more like Blue Bottle and a lot of the specialty coffee shops here in New York. They press their own espresso and all their coffee is made on the spot. And they're also very focused on where the coffee is coming from. Which specific farm from Guatemala is it coming from? Coban versus Puerto Rico. It's a lot of those intricacies. And for us in the fourth wave, we want to focus on that element in the third wave of really, but honing it down even more. And we find out that through 3 years of research, that a lot of the way that we can process coffee can make it taste even better. So that's why we think that it all matters. Every step matters in the process, and that's why we want to introduce this wave of coffee to you today. So this is our process. We source the coffee from these different farms. Then when they arrive, most coffee shops will just roast their coffee immediately. But for us, we wash our coffee using magnetized water, and that is the biggest part of our research, that we find that when you use magnetized water, it actually will it will retain a lot of those original intricacies in the notes in the coffee you're trying. So then we roast it and we brew it. So we focus a lot on our brewing. Oh. Thank you for asking. I actually have a little bit of a presentation about that. So magnetized water is actually a way to process water through a magnetizer. Dr. Park, who is someone who actually who headed this research within our company, he found out that when you magnetize water, it creates more even molecules in the water, so it increases hydration in organic material. So when you drink it, you also feel more hydrated. So with the beans, once we wash it, a lot of that moisture is retained when it's roasted. So a lot of the times there's different types of cracking that occur in roasting when you're roasting coffee. So the crack actually occurs at a slightly later stage. Therefore, it's able to actually retain more of that flavor before it becomes that roast coffee that you love in your cup of joe in the morning. So that's just one of the biggest differences from us and any other coffee company out in the market right now, because we take that extra processing when we receive our beans. Yes. I mean, you can even make it a lot more complicated. But yeah, that should be enough to give you different. What's the taste like? Yeah.
Well, actually, the magnetized water, the water is really amazing. It's just simply actually passing by the multiple, so many ceramic bowls, and the same time with the magnetic strips force applied to the water. That makes actually water in different smaller cluster, which helps a lot for us, hydrating. So when we applied in many different cases, for example, the plant, when we actually, in the clear base plant, we use the normal regular water and the magnetized water. Magnetized water, we saw its growth faster, healthier, And the base, the water, the clear, it gets really cloudy after a couple of days, but this doesn't, it was just by applying the simple,
Sounds like your water is like distilled water.
it's not distilled water, the distilled,
Also, a wave in coffee. It's certainly cold brew coffee.
yeah.
If you haven't put that in a wave, cold brew coffee is huge. Distilled water is magnetized water, and that's really bad.
Oh, it's not distilled water.
Water is not magnetized.
Yeah, it's not, yeah.
It's using a system to take the metals out. No, that's not what it is. I'm sorry. Changes, it changes. It changes the ionic, it changes the takes out the electrons in the water. I'm gonna ask to table this.
Okay.
Yeah, just going on in terms of our process. So, so with that water, we process everything in-house. We do the washing in-house, the roasting in-house, and then we are able to supply to our stores. So within our processing, we also have our pour-over coffee production, which we have some of our samples here today. It's like a convenient coffee pack where you can make pour-over on the go. And we also are famous for our cold brew. So I'll speak a little bit more into that, but so our equipment that we use to create our cold brew is proprietary, and it's able to extract a cold brew concentrate faster than the industry standard. And a lot of companies also just, they distill their cold brew. They create cold brew by steeping their cold brew, but ours is using a percolation method, which makes the extraction much faster. And the thing about us that we make with coffee that's a little bit different is that we focus a lot on that science element of it, which gives that precise taste in the coffee. But we also like to balance that with the traditional craft, since the coffee tradition is really important to us as well.
How long does the magnetization last?
It's just instantaneous, yes.
Yeah, so as a result, through this process, we have won America's Best Cold Brew in 2017 and 2018. This is our wine-infused cold brew, and that's another step of what we do that's different, because through our process, we're actually able to infuse wine and retain those notes within our coffee.
So are you making?
We actually infused, we be able to do it. So first, the infused coffee.
You have a natural coffee?
Yes.
Yes. All natural, yes.
No, I'm saying just plain with no flavor.
Yes. Most of our coffee is not flavored, but our wine infused is something that is a little bit different. But we generally do not create like flavored coffees because the original flavor of our coffee doesn't require too many flavors added into it due to just kind of the natural flavor of the coffee.
So the magnetized water is used purity or
it's not, it just makes you very smooth, taste, and,
the remaining beans?
right.
So you're removing some sharp acid components?
Yes, part of it, yes.
So just in terms of the coffee market, cold brew is actually a really rapidly growing area in the coffee industry. A lot of people that are in the Gen Z and millennial age prefers cold brew, or like prefer cold brew like in the afternoon for like a cold drink. And with our concentrate, we're able to do a lot with it, and we're able to capture this growing market currently in the cold brew in the coffee industry. This is just a picture of America's Best Coffee, or America's Coffee Fest. This is where we won America's Best Cold Brew in 2017 and 2018, and we're really looking forward to getting back into the competition this year. And here's just a little bit more about our brand and the culture that we create with our cafe, since that's also a big part of how we serve our coffee and create a market for it. We believe that the coffee makes you feel reborn.
Where are you distributed? You said you're at number 1 seller.
Yes, so.
Where are you distributed?
Yeah, so we roast all our coffee in Brea, California, Southern California, Orange County, and we currently have 5 locations there.
Yeah, what? I'm sorry.
We currently have 5 cafes and kiosks there. Yes. So these are just some of the different community-based aspects, because for coffee in the industry, community is a very big part, and we believe that we want to make our community reborn every day. So this is just more, we are very involved in our community, and now that we notice that when people are coming out of their lockdowns, they actually want to find places to meet their friends, and Reborn is the place that people are able to do that.
What is the demographic?
Yeah, so we have quite a wide demographic, and it depends a lot. Oh, the ones I was just showing on our slides? Yeah, a lot of it is people in their 20s and their 30s. Yes, Gen X. But at the same time, a lot of our coffee buyers, we also find are in the 65 plus demographic who have who bought a lot of different coffee products and or coffee machines, and they're trying to learn different ways to brew their coffee at home as well. So we actually find a lot of people in both demographics that are really interested in learning about the process of coffee. And in addition, a lot of it is who comes into the stores and wants to meet their friends. A lot of it is people in the college age, since we are located near quite a few colleges, and we're also finding that people want to just meet up in the stores as well.
You know, I've actually spent some time in Southern California, and I find that coffee is more of a way of life there than here in New York and other places where they really take it very seriously. There's far more, you know, non-Starbucks sort of artisanal coffee shops, et cetera. So,
yeah.
Extraction process. What is happening to the caffeine content of your coffee? What is happening to
The chemistry back, we're not really clear on that. But cold brew, the extraction, we're talking about the cold brew extraction. With the room temperature, we're actually able to, calculate the setting time and the flow bed, all this calculation. Based on that, we want to extract. I guess with the difference with the espresso versus cold brew, the extraction, we actually less extract the oil components. So which is much better for the cholesterol components, right? It's much less than regular espresso brew. The cold brew.
caffeine content is unchanged?
Caffeine contains much, I believe it's much better, much lower than regular espresso
So
content.
you remove some of the caffeine.
Yes.
What about the chlorogenic acid, which is a beneficial aspect of?
That I don't have answer for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can call you up on it.
Okay.
How long have you been in the pipe?
So we started since 2017. I will talk a little bit more about how our stores. So currently, we just recently opened one location, and we're actually planning 3 more locations this year.
In all fairness, I'm a founding investor in Rise. Which you may know about. Both in water and coffee. Okay.
I see.
Cold brew is a 5-year phenomenon. I'm interested in your variation.
Okay.
Great, yeah, and so we do, being part of Orange County, we have been working, we have different sponsored events there. We actually work with OC Golf, and we have sponsored some of their events as well. And here's an event here at Angel Stadium that we were able to be a part of as well.
So we actually introduced magnetized water to all the Angel Stadium staff. So we donated about 5 pallets, and we tried it out, and most people loved it. And even compared with the other regular bottle, they tend to drink a lot more and a lot faster. So we are very confident that there's much more hydration happening.
You are aware that when you take too many minerals out of water,
Right.
the body makes up for it. So it keeps its minerals in.
Yes, you're right.
Very fast.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, when we actually we like to bottle our water start with the mineral water. Okay, so we have to have a certain number of solid. So I think
But the only metals that will be removed from
yes.
that are magnetizable. Chloride, bromide.
Yeah, so you actually remove bitterness and so some of the bitterness and some of the hardness and all that. Okay, let's go on. Okay.
All right, so just with what we do here at Reborn Coffee, we do the in-house processing and the roasting, like I've mentioned previously. We have our retail stores, our e-commerce store, and we also do some B2B wholesale orders as well. So these are just some of our products. We do whole bean coffee, the pour over packs, which we have here today. It's a convenient way that a lot of backpackers and hikers are able to take specialty coffee with them. And finally, we do have cold brew packs for people who want to make some of their cold brew at home, and people can actually buy our concentrate when they're at our stores. These are just some images of some of the different collaborations we do. We do a lot of gift sets, and we work with a lot of great merchandising to be able to connect with our customers so they can be part of the Reborn brand. So I can also just walk you through a little bit of our cafe, because this is one of the biggest aspects where we grow our community and are able to demonstrate some of the greatest things that we do. So this, we do pour over, we do latte art, and we do all the stuff that you expect at a third wave coffee shop. But we also create different cold brew tabs, and we use a lot of these, transfer a lot of what we do in our processing into the taste that you have at our cafes. Here's just our summer menu. It's really, really popular, and we're learning that in the industry, people are here to enjoy their drinks and to sit down and enjoy their time. So for us, this visual element is so important in the coffee industry. Okay. Yeah, so I'll just walk you through really quickly through some of our projects, our locations. This is our first project in Brea, the concept art. We've collaborated with Lululemon to create some yoga sessions out in this area. This area is a very active area with many different like yoga and Pilates gyms near us. So we're able to capitalize on that consumer base in this location. Our second location is in Glendale, which is in Los Angeles County. And this is our cafe there. And this demographic is one of those the older demographics, like I mentioned, and we're able to educate them a lot on the brewing process. Finally, this is our third project in Corona Del Mar in Newport Beach, California. This one's a prime beach location since it's right next to Corona Del Mar State Beach, excuse me. And this is a great location that I think has really attracted a lot of people to learn about coffee when they're just getting their morning coffee right before they go to the beach. We focus a lot on that educational element about how is this coffee different than an instant coffee or something like that. So the next level that we have is our kiosks, which are at, we currently have two locations at Glendale Galleria and at the Santa Anita Mall, which are two prime malls in the Los Angeles metro area. We use cold brew to create, we can actually use the cold brew concentrate to create really interesting drinks. And we can even use a steamer to create hot drinks out of cold brew concentrate. So these have high visibility, and we're able to actually teach people about coffee while they're on their visit at the mall. This is our Santa Anita location, which also is a very high traffic area. It's right next to the Santa Anita racetrack, and that's how we're able to attract different markets throughout Los Angeles. And these are just some of our projects under development, which one is in Tyler Mall in Riverside and Stonetown Galleria in San Francisco. These are two prime center kiosks in the center of the mall. So it has high visibility, and being in the center is actually very easy to spot from any direction while you're in that central area of the mall. Additionally, we have a new developing area in Manhattan Village. Many of the people that work here are in the aerospace industry since it's located very close to LAX. So we have Boeing, we have Northrop Grumman, and many of these companies and different markets there. We also work with Marriott and Hilton. So we have a project prior to the pandemic. We did supply a lot of our cold brew to Marriott, and that will be continuing now that the hotel is starting to pick up and become busy again. And we currently are working with a deal at Hilton in the Glendale area. So we are able to distribute to many different channels in the Los Angeles area. And finally, we just have some of our income projections listed, but yeah.
We don't have time.
Yeah, we don't, yeah.
You got a minute or two?
Yeah, I think, should we have Andrew?
Yeah, we're expecting is Andrew there?
Yeah.
Okay, let Andrew talk about the financial.
Andrew, are you there?
I'm here, yeah.
Andrew, you want to talk about the pre-IPO that we're actually processing?
Okay.
Anyway.
You want me to go now, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Andrew is our IPO advisor. He will talk about a little bit about the IPO pre-offering related.
Okay, so we have done a regulation A offering right now, and we are selling, but we have right 1 billion shares outstanding right now, and we are selling 800 million shares at 5 cents a share to raise $40 million. And then, but we don't plan to expect to sell the whole thing. We plan to close it by July 31 and maybe the least by August 31. And then we plan to close it, and then we talked to an investment bank, and we are trying to do an IPO with them. We plan to find an S1 and then do an IPO to raise about $20 million, and then get on the Nasdaq. So that's the plan. So if you have any other questions, you can ask me.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, let me explain. This very. Can you remove that?
Oh.
You have about.
Oh, yeah, I can't remove that. That's not my turn.
The total of fuel on.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, this is our current this year projection, which is about 3.5 million. The revenue. Yeah.
And what's your valuation on your raise?
Raise about 50.
You're raising money.
Yeah, yes. Valuation at 50 million.
Pre-money.
Yes. Because we already invested to this project about 5 to 7 million, and we have our own production manufacturing facility, and we currently have 5 open outlets. Plus, there's a 4 additional store coming up by end of next month. And right now, we have the list closing, Starbucks closing list about 30 locations. We tend to look at all those, and at least about we like to proceed with the 10 Starbucks locations. And also, Coffee Bean is closing very fast rate, and we like to actually take over those places and the change of culture and the change, the coffee industry. We want to change the things because recently, a couple of years ago, young people especially, they like to have a coffee, hand drip coffee, portable coffee, and which is very popular. That's why we actually come up with, change the different culture rather than using the Keurig machine, which is a spread out millions numbers, right? This is simply all you need to have is just kettle boil water and just simply hand drip. You can make it within 1 minute. So this is and they can have a very fresh coffee in anywhere. So we're actually change the culture, having pre-filtered everything and able to drink coffee anywhere. So this is one of the products that we want to change the coffee style.
Question
Yeah.
on, you mentioned, the youth and all, but I think on the other side of it, is there anything in the operations or the production of this that touches ESG? That's such a hot area right now, whether it's on the labor side or the waste management side, something like that, because that also sells very well to the, to the next gen as well as the, as sort of the more demanding, valuing the pricing that you're getting at home versus the same way.
Right.
You know about this stuff, Joe.
Yeah, and for us, a lot of it is we are working to work with the farms directly, and in that aspect, we're able to do a lot more quality control, both in the product, so in the quality control, but at the same time, that allows us to cut the middleman out and actually work directly with the farms. And I think that's a big aspect of coffee that is still needs to be tapped into.
No, but that's the logic. It's almost like you want a food. At the end of the day, on the business side, it's good operations, good costs, and it's what the margin. But part of this is you don't want to be viewed as cutting people out. You actually want to integrate.
Sure.
The other thing I want to ask,
Last question.
do you most people distinguish
Yes.
So, if you get an espresso, it says from Nicaragua, from Ethiopia, from India, from Zimbabwe, where I'm from. But anyway, the
Oh, no, we.
Yeah, our sources, yeah, so we source from, yeah, like, for example, our Colombia is from a Apulia region, and that's what. Oh, yeah, that's our house blend, so that's actually, the blend that we created, but some of our different single origins come
Yeah.
from specific farms, within,
When you
yeah.
sell coffee in your location,
Mhm.
it's distinct
Yes.
from the country of
Yes.
origin.
Yes, yes.
So with, for example, when you come into our shop and you're looking for a cold brew, you can try a cold brew from Ethiopia versus Guatemala versus Colombia.
Guys, fantastic job.